Hello, I'm Ian with the Dwarven Tavern. I almost forgot my name there for a second. And I'm here with Nick, correct?
Hello, yes, Nick Bentley.
Yeah, well, today we're talking about Evolution, a new board game. So, first questions first. How is the con going for you?
So the con is going amazing. We brought here an incredible number of games, way more than we ever thought we could sell, and we're sold out of the base game of Evolution.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm very happy about that.
That's always good to hear. Would you care to give maybe 30 seconds of what exactly is Evolution?
Right. So Evolution its first incarnation was designed by a Russian biologist to illustrate the principles of evolution to his students. We licensed it from the company that made that first version of the game and developed it into a more sort of gamey, fun experience.
That's really cool.
But still maintaining the original principles of the game. So in the game, you create and control species. You endow them with traits so they can survive and feed. The main goal of the game is to eat as much food as possible, but to do that, you have to avoid dying, just like in nature. So you can die by starvation, or you can die by predation. Carnivores can eat you. And so it's a card-driven game, and there are lots of traits that species have that all combine with one another to allow species to survive or not, depending on how well you play.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds really cool, and I can see by the poster in the background, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But okay, so I can see that you've got a board, you've got little pieces, you've got little playing bits, and you got cards. Mm-hmm. So let's see. Trying to think of what I want to ask you. It looks really cool. So how long does the average game take?
The average game takes 45 to 60 minutes. 60 minutes for beginners, 45 minutes for new players. It plays 2 to 6 players. I can play it with players as young as 9. Or that's the youngest I've been able to go. But of course, it depends on the developmental progress of the kid.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, so far from what I can see, the game looks really involving, which I think is really cool in general. And let's see, you've got a little piece. Well, explain to me how the board works, real quick.
Yeah, so there are little species boards that have tracks for population and body size. And in addition to giving your species traits, you can also adjust the populations or body sizes of your species. And those things affect the way your cards work and the way the traits combine with one another to define your species. It creates lots of subtle interactions that you don't necessarily find in other kinds of card-driven games.
Well, that's cool. So each one of the players can interact with each other like a regular card game, correct? Mm-hmm. And they also interact with like an environment kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
That's also really cool. So how exactly does the food mechanic work in the game?
Yeah, so there are little bits called food, and the game has rounds, and in each round there's 2 parts. One part where you enhance your species, and one part where the species compete for food. When you're competing for food, you go around the table. Each person takes some amount of food that depends on the species they have and what those species can do. Some people can accumulate food faster than others. People who don't accumulate food very fast go hungry more easily and don't get as many points because points equals food in this
food equals
game.
Points. Yeah,
right.
That's really cool. Okay, so let's see. I see you've got some other stuff over there. So what else do you guys have for going here?
Yeah. So in addition to debuting the second edition of this game here, and all these demo tables have been completely full the whole time, we also are releasing the first expansion, which is called Flight. It introduces avian species and avian traits as well. The rules are very simple, but it dramatically changes the strategy of the game, just like flying creatures dramatically change the ecosystems that they end up in.
So how exactly does Flight change how the game is played, and does this version work well with the original?
Yeah, so this integrates with the original. It allows you to create flying creatures, and flying creatures are very expensive to have. They have an upkeep cost. You have to eat food that you don't get to score as points if you're an avian creature, and that food represents the metabolic demand of being able to fly.
Yeah, because it takes a lot more
It takes
energy
a lot
to
of
fly,
food
yeah.
to fly, but you get lots of powers with that. So you can eat food from another source of food called the cliffs that no one else can reach.
Because you fly.
Because you can fly.
Caw.
If you're a carnivore, you can also get around defensive traits because you can attack from the sky,
Yeah.
which other carnivores can't do. In addition, only flying creatures can attack other flying creatures. So it's easier to defend yourself of a flying creature if you're a flying creature as well, because you can just fly away from land.
Nope. Just fly
Yeah,
away.
exactly.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So, okay, let's see. So, I'm gonna wrap it up here.
Okay.
Because we've got what the game is like. Can you get a shot of the board, please?
Yes, that will stay. So you guys have your new hands, correct?
It looks really cool.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what else do I want to say because you've explained the board. It looks really cool. I like how the players can interact with each other and they interact with the game, and not dying being the goal of the game is usually the best. 'Cause trying to not out-die everyone else is
That's
usually my
exactly.
problem.
I've never heard it put that way, but I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Trying to
So-
out, not die.
So, thank you for,
Thank you
for
so
your
much.
time. I'm not particularly the best at interviewing. I leave that to Dad, but whatever. So yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.